Mul on hea meel siia paluda ka Eesti esindaja, Rahandusministeeriumi riigihaldusosakonna juhataja Merilin Truuväärt. Teie aplausi toel on kindlasti palju parem lavale tulla. Aitäh! Ja virtuaalseid kanaleid pidi liitub meiega ka Soome Rahandusministeeriumi avaliku valitsemise osakonna nõunik Marjaana Laine. Tervetuloa! As promised, I will not speak in Finnish, but we will enjoy the discussion in English. Marjaana, you have an e-learning platform in Finland called e-oppiva. Can you give us a bit of an overview? How did e-oppiva come to be, and how was decentralizing an e-learning service actually useful?
Well, good questions. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. We had a need, like Finland is rather large in area, and about half of our civil servants, those people who are working for the government, work outside Helsinki district, so quite far, and everywhere around Finland. And we have the challenge to give them training equally to each one of them and saving in costs. So e-learning seemed to be the right and maybe the only solution at that time. So that is why we started the project, and that was in 2016 or 2016. Decentralized, I don't know if that is decentralized or rather centralized, what we have, but it has both elements in it.
Who is the platform for, actually? Who uses it?
It is for the personnel of state administration, so central government employees, but it has plenty of open courses that whoever can study, even in English. You don't have to always know Finnish. So mostly it is for the civil servants, but at the same time we try to keep it open when possible to a larger public.
And I understand this is a dynamic process, right? You didn't come out with a service that was ready-made from the first day now. Can you elaborate a bit on how has this service progressed throughout the years? What have been also the learning points, and where is the platform now heading?
The platform is heading for a even greater future. That is it's one of the rare strategic choices that we have made in our human resources training or development. It started from zero, of course. It was a project financed by the Ministry of Finance, and we took House, which is our training center, totally owned by the Finnish government, like in-house actor. We took House with us right from the beginning, so that it was established in-house and made in-house and not in the ministry. So we started from very little, and as it was free for the agencies to use, we rather soon kind of got them interested in it and got them to work together with us. Even in the project where we made e-oppiva, we had like agencies that had been or were better in e-learning than others. So it wasn't totally new e-learning for Finland, but then we made this one, and then the agencies could say goodbye to their own ones, and everybody joined this shared one. But what did I forget? You had a third question there too.
Well, actually, this is already a great beginning to our conversation. Let's leave some for a later stage. Merilin, what are the Estonian systems that we can currently use in e-learning?
We're not quite there yet as Finland is, but I'm very happy that Digiriigi Akadeemia has become, I would say, the main e-learning environment that we have. But still, there are some agencies, ministries that use their own systems. There's Moodle that's been used in some places, and also different kinds of own systems that are there. But I'm very happy that more and more agencies and ministries are interested in the central learning platform, and it's getting there.
What are the main differences between this Digiriigi Akadeemia and e-Oppiva? Because I haven't used either of them, so I'm curious to know.
Well, to be honest, I haven't used the e-Oppiva, but I've used Digiriigi Akadeemia. Maybe how it came to be is one of the differences, because Digiriigi Akadeemia came to be as a platform for digital skills, but e-Oppiva was a bit broader, as I understood, that for several skills, and we are getting there. Now Digiriigi Akadeemia is expanding, and it's not only just digital skills, but it's more all sorts of useful information and skills that are needed these days. And if we looked at the picture that was here before, if we look at what the digital skills are, they're much broader than just Excel or a ChatGPT. So in that sense, more and more content is coming available also in the Digiriigi Akadeemia.
What is the goal that we actually want to reach in Digiriigi Akadeemia? What is your perfect Digiriigi Akadeemia that you're imagining in the future? And could it be something like e-Oppiva or something else?
Yes, I think we have a lot to learn from e-Oppiva. But what I imagine is that it has something, if you need something right now, may it be that you need to take a new role, may it be that you want to know how ChatGPT works, you can find it there, you can learn, but then you also have some support how to actually develop these skills, and in practical sense that's what puzzles me, how to put together the e-learning platform with actually networking and communicating and getting all that. Because if we talk about central training, that's one of the big aims that we have. It's not just the skills, but it's also the networking platform. So how to bring these things together in the digital world.
Marjaana, have you struggled with that in Finland, or do Finnish people like each other even less than Estonians and actually don't want to network at all and enjoy their time in front of the screens?
Yeah, I recognize your challenge. That is also our challenge. Like in e-Oppiva, the student is there studying on his or her own mostly. And we are trying to think how to make some light structured ways to study together or study, not so alone. In addition, all these platforms where you then discuss and share and learn together and all this, we don't have that in e-Oppiva. It would be great, but the best of them are rather costly. So we haven't really found a way yet. We have now concentrated in e-learning, in learning courses, in podcasts, in micro videos, so more to e-learning. But I would really hope that in the future we would also have that kind of shared platform where you could, discuss, even do things together, but that is not even on the development list at the moment. We are still hands full with e-learning itself.
So what are the challenges that you're trying to solve now? What's in the development list? How are you improving the service?
We are trying, of course, we hope to get some artificial intelligence to help us. We even had one of the first courses we were planning to do, we thought that we could do it already, but we failed at that point. So little by little, we hope to get some artificial intelligence to help with learning, not just a course to tell us what it is, but really to have it inside eOppiva, but also to make it more student friendly, and so that you like we have Moodle in the heart of eOppiva, and it is a good system, but it is not the most agile. So of course we try to find ways to somehow make it even better and more user friendly. That is maybe the word.
As far as I've experienced, Moodle user friendliness isn't really a part of the program.
No, most of our courses are actually on another platform, like RISE, it's called, RISE Articulate, and Moodle is like the motor behind.
Right. What are the challenges that Estonia is currently wrestling with in e-learning? AI on the list as well?
It will be there probably, but I think right now we have more pressing challenges. First of all, how to bring people to these e-learning platforms. Also, how to fund new courses is a question, because there's EU funding for central training mostly, which has been cut mostly. So how can we still keep up central training without it? So we have some funding for the Digiteadmiste, but how can we create new courses and bring new people to the platform? And I think one of the key challenges that we are facing now is how to actually then facilitate the networking based on how can we take all that we can to the e-learning platform, but that cannot be taken there. How can we facilitate also this networking and skills outside of the e-learning platform? And that's really a challenge given the budget cuts that we have at the moment. So.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room then, the budget cuts. How can we actually develop the skills of civil servants in the backdrop of those budget cuts? And actually, is e-learning a game changer in this matter, or is it more challenging actually to put those e-courses out in this context?
I think it's challenging to put these e-courses out, but if we think that it lasts longer, otherwise we have a training, it was nice, but then it's gone. But if we invest a little more, but make it usable for so many more people, I think it's worth it. So I think that's where the cooperation also comes into play. The civil service in Estonia is very decentralized, but I think we need to work together in order to actually create good content to the digital academy.
Marjaana, what's your experience in Finland? Is e-learning cost effective? How does it compare with the old school lecturer in a room here and now, giving his or her best knowledge and then leaving and everything? All the knowledge hopefully being absorbed, but can never be repeated again.
Yeah, our experience is that it is very cost effective. Courses, if we would buy them from outside, one learning, like one person going on an e-learning course, that would be, I don't know, from 50 to 200 euros or even more. With eOppiva, the cost is 4 euros. And how did we manage that is that we actually, in this e-learning, we are centralized. We are rather decentralized otherwise, but we thought that our agencies are all so small that it is not worth that everybody is doing stuff on their own, but we need to have one centralized service where they then can have their own corner of the service and use that for their internal courses. But then we have this shared side, which is the heart of the whole thing, where we concentrate in those skills that are shared by most civil servants. That is our first target. And in that way, we could get a budget funding right from the beginning. And with that budget funding, which is really important, I mean, without that, we wouldn't manage. But with this budget funding, we kind of can keep the service running. And then some agencies also buy with their own money courses. They want to make courses for themselves or for a larger public, and then they use their own money. But with this budget funding, we get quite a few courses in a year, and we get the whole infrastructure of e-oppiva.
Merilin, does that sound like something we could replicate in Estonia, or are we facing different challenges?
Yes, I think we could, but yeah, it requires work, and it requires agreeing that we will all use one platform, and that we all also create content into it. So, but I think this model looks quite feasible.
But why can't we all use the same platform and the same model?
We can, and I think we are heading there. It's just one thing. It's a matter of knowing what's out there, and I think Digirigi Academia has become more and more known as a central training platform. And of course, there are some different issues also with history and who's working with whom, etc. But I think it's doable, and I think we're heading there.
Right. So we have questions also from the audience. Thank you so much for your contribution. How do you keep your e-courses up to date? Is the first question. Perhaps Marjaana can answer that first.
I'm afraid not all of them are up to date at the moment, but in principle, I mean, you said there that a person, like a skilled person, comes and gives a lecture. That is also the idea in e-oppiva, that all the courses have a owner, someone normally from state administration that kind of owns the subject or is the real expert in it and takes the responsibility of the course. And then like every now and then e-oppiva team asks this person, is there something to be updated? Is it like the team who makes it then also carries the responsibility of keeping it up to date? Or then say that, okay, now it's not up to date anymore and it's not worth updating, so let's delete it from the catalog.
Merilin,
that's how it's normally done.
How does it work in Estonia?
As Digirigi Academia is not that old, so we haven't faced that issue yet that much, I would say.
Everything's nice and fresh and up to date.
It's quite fresh still, but of course we will also face that in a few years. So it's the same. We need people that are responsible for each topic and that also responsible for keeping them up to date. But there are also courses that are not that don't have such a quick due date. If we think about problem solving skills or more general central skills that we need.
How to be a better person.
For example, then I think they don't
Universal
have...
approaches from the Renaissance era.
Yes. So probably they don't have such a due date, so they might stick there for a couple of decades. So yeah, it depends on the topic as well.
Mm-hmm. Another question from you guys, dear audience. Are there any other innovative ways to equip civil servants with relevant skills in addition to e-learning? That's a tough one.
I would say yes, of course.
But let's stick to e-learning.
No. My background is actually in InnoTeam. So for 5 years, I worked basically as an internal trainer in innovation team. We were only 3 people, but the challenge was how to upskill basically the whole civil service in problem-solving skills and innovation skills. So we needed to amplify ourselves. Technology is certainly one way of doing that, but also using more internal resources and using the people that think in the similar manner has become the key. So I think using the internal resources for that is definitely a thing. And I've seen that one of the key things that why innovation team has been successful is because we're solving practical problems. So it's not just a training for a training's sake, but you bring your own practical problem and your skills develop in the course of solving that problem.
Marjaana,
your take on this question? Other innovative means?
Yeah, well, I was nodding a lot here, listening to that comment. I was also thinking about like learning on the job. That is the most important. What is happening in our everyday lives at work? How we do things, and do we learn from each other? Do we share things? Do we have a culture that our managers allow and even encourage and maybe even demand us to do work in networks over our own organizational boundaries and all that kind of thing, so that our everyday working life is such that it makes it allows you to develop and it motivates you to develop. I think that's even more important than e-learning in itself.
Yeah, e-learning is just one mean of doing one part of the training, but it doesn't solve the whole equation. So as I said before, how to bring these people together, how to make them network, etc., how to use more internal resources to do all that, it's a challenge that we're facing.
People in the audience question the measurements of e-learning. So how do you measure the usefulness, for instance? Do you have I don't know, KPIs in place, or how do you know that those e-learning training courses have actually made a difference, Marjaana?
It's really difficult in a way that if it makes a difference, it means that me or my colleague or whoever is studying is doing something differently. And of course, it's difficult to get grip of that. Does that happen? But we ask after each course, there is a survey that you can, if you want to answer. And one question is that will I do things differently after this? And okay, you have just learned the course, so really it's more a feeling, will I do something differently? But that is maybe to the closest that we get. Then of course we try to measure many things, but really the most important, have we learned something? That is really difficult to tackle. And if somebody in the audience has good good ideas for that, please let us know, because that's on our agenda right now, actually.
We will have actually a conversation about measuring the effects of different courses very much in our agenda. So we'll discuss that later throughout the day. But Merilin, any thoughts on how to measure?
Well, I think it's not a universal problem for e-learning. It's a more broader question, and I'm very glad that it hopefully will be answered this afternoon, because we have been struggling with that in innovation team as well. So how can we say that what we have done here has actually been effective? So are people using these skills? We have tried different surveys, etc., but we're still not quite there, I would say, so I hope to get some good pointers from the afternoon talk.
So we discussed using AI as one of the things in the agenda, but what are the hurdles that you're currently facing really building or improving your e-learning platform? What are the challenges that you still need to overcome, Marjaana?
Maybe it's not with the platform, but we do struggle, or not maybe struggle, but we want to make sure that the percentage of active learners, those who return to the service, gets higher, and that they do come, and they come there because they feel that they learn something. And that also is not with the learning platform. The other one is that people are so busy. They feel they don't have time to study. So those are actually maybe the biggest challenges. With the e-learning platform, I think I mentioned that we try to make it more user-friendly. Agencies want more information, more statistics. And if we have these open courses there that you, for example, Johannes, could study, we wouldn't get the same data than of those that are behind the wall or meant only for the civil servants. So we get more data from these closed courses. So we have issues like that, but more, I think it's not with the system itself. It's other things. It has to do with humans and the challenging times and no time to study.
What is the rate of participation? I mean, do you measure that also, and do you look at the whole amount of civil servants and how many?
We try. Yeah, we try. But as we have these open courses, we don't always know who has studied. If it's my mother or if it's my colleague, we don't know it unless they have then done it until the end and answered who it was. So we have a bit of a challenge with these open courses. But I would say that all of our civil servants are registered. So the whole civil service, all the agencies use it in some extent. But the return rate is around 40% of the people who study come back in the next 6 months or even 3 months. But in a longer run, they do come back. But in few months, they should come back more often.
How much is Digiriigi Akadeemia used among civil servants?
I need to look there if to get an answer, but
today mark 12,000 participants in the platform, but I'm not sure at the moment what's the percentage of the civil servants there.
And civil servants.
Yeah.
But as Marjaana said, I think the challenges are that with digital learning, you can go there anytime, and it can happen that you don't go there because you can go there anytime. So it's a challenge how to nudge people to, or how can we complement the digital e-learning platform with actual classroom courses so that you go there at a certain time and you fulfill it. Because if you have a classroom training, you go there. But if you can do it anytime, you can just postpone it a little bit. So it's a challenge.
We have about a minute left of this discussion. Is there anyone in the room who wants to ask a question from Marjaana or Merilin? Or you have posted your questions here digitally. I very much appreciate it. I will take the last question then that is posted here. Do you have a time limit for an e-course or training created on your platform? Marjaana, is there a time limit?
Time limit for what?
Well, I don't know. This is what the person asked. perhaps will it expire at a certain time, or will it stay on forever?
No. If you, yeah. So long as your email address is valid for your office, you are there. If you once go there, you are there, and you can go back. As long as you have a valid email address from one of our agencies.
And the courses also don't have an automatic expiry date. They are they are there until the owner of the course says it's valid and legit. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right. We talked about AI on learning platforms. That is another question from the audience, but I believe our time's actually up. So thank you very much, Marjaana and Merilin. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you a lot. Have a great day there.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.